Is there a way to limit the amount of carbon released into the atmosphere? Possibly, but is that way carbon trading? A central authority, usually a government body, sets a limit or cap on the amount of pollutant that may be emitted. The limit or cap is sold to firms in the form of emission permits, which represent the single right to emit a specific volume of the pollutant, like carbon. Firms are required to hold a number of permits, also known as carbon credits, equivalent to their emissions. The total number of permits cannot exceed the cap, limiting the total emissions to that level. Firms that need to increase their volume emissions must buy permits from those who require fewer. The transfer of permits is referred to as a trade. In short, the buyer is paying a charge for polluting, while the seller is being rewarded for having reduced emissions. Thus, in theory, those who can reduce emissions most cheaply will do so, achieving the pollution reduction at the lowest cost to society. There are active trading programs in several air pollutants. For greenhouse gases, the largest is the European Union Emission Trading Scheme, whose purpose is to avoid dangerous climate change. In the United States, there is a national market to reduce acid rain, and several regional markets in the nitrogen oxides. Markets for other pollutants tend to be smaller and more localized. The overall goal of an emissions trading plan is to minimize the cost of meeting a set of emissions target, or the cap. The cap is an enforceable limit on emissions that is usually lowered over time, aiming towards a national emissions reduction target. In many cap-and-trade systems, organizations which do not pollute and therefore have no obligations may also participate in trading. Thus, environmental groups may purchase and retire emission permits, therefore driving up the price for the remaining permits according to the law of demand.